Hey guys, Ryan here from Cantone's Tech Corner, or my website / portfolio, whatever you want to call it. So today I'm going to go probably about a 15 to 20 minute video of the new Apple lineup from iOS 7 coming out September 18th to selected devices from basically the iPhone 4 up. The iPhone 5C and the iPhone 5S, which were just released, or announced I should say, a couple days ago at the Apple Keynote. They will also be released on September 20th officially to the public. Pre-order I will get to. I have it written in my notes for the 5C. So I'll let you know about that. But we're going to kick it off with iOS 7. It's kind of a compare and contrast thing, personal opinion, from Apple to Android. I've used both devices. As a matter of fact, just got off of an iPhone 5, and I'm now running an HTC One. So I do flip-flop around devices a lot. I am familiar with both operating systems. And I was also on the Apple developer team, so I did have the beta as well for iOS 7. So I can kind of speak from term on how I had it, used it, and what features that they went over. So starting off, we'll start out right at the lock screen on how Apple announced it on their keynote. It's very minimalistic. It looks good. It's clean. I like that. I'm a minimalistic person. I think it's better than the black boxes at the top and the one at the bottom. I think it looks very nice. I think it's cleaned up. I think it's pretty cool. You can pull the control center up from the bottom, pull the notifications down from the top, right from the lock screen. That's a nice feature. Again, nothing to really talk about on the lock screen. Icons, personally, I think they look like crap. I think they look cartoony, and I don't think that they contrast any of the wallpapers very well at all that I've seen, especially the ones that come with Apple. You would think that those have been put in to contrast the icons, and they don't, especially the new ones that I've seen that are supposed to be released with the iPhone 5C, depending on your color variant. I don't think that they mesh very well. I think it looks very clustered. As I've always thought iOS has looked clustered. You don't have folders, you don't have an app drawer, you don't have any of that. Everything's just bam on your home page or on the next scroll page, but everything's just jumbled. Correction, you do have folders, but it's still all in one thing. It looks crammed. I don't like it. From a lot of other people's perspectives and views, they don't like it either. The control center toggles notifications, things like that. On the bottom, when you pull it up, you can do airplane mode, Bluetooth, AirDrop, etc. This has been on Android for a long time. This is nothing new. This is just thank you, Apple, for finally putting this in. Rather than having to be jailbroke to pull up toggles on my notifications, thank you. So yeah, a good thing that they're adding, but again, not new. Been around for quite a while. Notification center, again, it's been on Android for a long time. I think it's been on iOS 7 since version 5. I could be mistaken, but I think it's 5 or 6. But again, it's cleaned up a little bit. I like how it has your calendar and your effects and the way it's lined up. The All tab at the top and the Miss tab I think are kind of dumb. They do exactly the same purpose pretty much, so I don't know why they're there. But yeah. It kind of said that it updates for your location. When you pull down the notification, it kind of tells you, okay, it's going to take you 30 minutes to get from work. It kind of learns from you. Google Now introduced that when Google Now came out. And it's not new. Again, it's just another feature that Android's already had built in with Google Now. And I don't know really too many devices that don't have Google Now. So it's a great feature. Again, glad Apple's finally putting it in there, but it's not new. The search, I don't really know why they actually took a part of their keynote presentation, and this just kind of tells me that it has lack of innovation, but they literally took a couple minutes from their keynote, not a couple minutes, maybe about a minute, to tell you that you can now search from anywhere in any screen. All you do is just pull down from any screen. Okay, that's fantastic, but it's a search. Honestly, it's not that big a deal, but Apple made it 30 seconds to a minute of their actual keynote was dedicated to that you can pull down in their search, and this is beautiful. This is wonderful. Like, okay. The edge-to-edge design on apps. So basically my question is, so you're saying that apps are using the full screen? Shouldn't apps be using the full screen? I know when I pull up an app on any Android device I've used, it uses the full screen. I really don't know why or what they mean by edge to edge. If you know, write in the comment section below and let me know what they mean that the apps are edge to edge. To me, okay, they should be doing that. Subtle animations, like when you pull up the weather now, which runs through Yahoo, the clouds will fade in the back. If it's raining, it'll look like it's raining on your screen. Again, this has been around not really in Android specific or Apple specific. This has been around in apps for a while. I've seen it on Android for a while. I know this. But this has been around for a while on a lot of apps. So it's cool that it's built in. But again, all their weather is basically a weather app. It's Yahoo's weather app. That's pretty much all it is. The old weather looked like crap. The new one looks good. I'll give them that. Let me see. Siri was a new, a big part of it. Siri's supposed to be a lot better now. I'd never, ever used Siri on my iPhone when I had it. I completely think it was a waste of time. And it can use web searches now. It can use pull up Twitter, things like that. That's fantastic. Google now has had it for a while. And Google now actually has cards and things that are useful, not just pulling information. Again, and then the web search that it pulls from uses Bing. Isn't Microsoft Apple's like a rival company? But you're using Bing, which is Microsoft's search engine for your search. I'm confused by that. To be honest, I'm surprised that Apple doesn't have their own search engine and to try to counteract Google, to be honest. So I was confused by that. Another thing that it was crazy to me, they spent probably a good minute or more talking that, wow, we have new notification sounds and new system sounds. Congratulations. Really? New notifications and new system sounds? That's what your big features are? For you're claiming a device has over your operating system has over 200 new features, and one of the features that you're going to highlight, the biggest features, is you have new notification sounds and new system sounds. Okay. The camera has photo effects. Congratulations, Apple. You're kind of getting back on board. So many apps have done this, and Android phones have been doing it for a while now, where they're built into the actual operating system or the camera feature itself from the company. My HTC One already does it. It has tons of filters in it. Other apps that are dedicated to that obviously have a lot more. Again, not a new feature. You can group photos now. That's cool. I really like the way that it's grouped. One thing that they've showed, you can look at the entire year and grouped. That looks like crap. All it does is it looks like a lot of pixelated dots all over the phone. And yeah, you can hold your finger on it and you can scroll around and look through. Why would you zoom out to see that many pictures? I don't understand the functionality or the purpose of that. And personally, I think it looks like crap. Sharing photos you can now do like over the AirPlay. So AirDrop, I guess it would be. That's NFC, which again, you have not put NFC into the new phone. You might claim that a lot of people don't use it. I use it a lot. Tons of people use NFC. I think it's a fantastic feature. You can use it for so many things. That's a whole nother video in itself. So Apple, you're still way behind the curve. Sharing photos now, you can push a button and you can share it through messaging or Facebook or whatever. You can do that with Android very simply, and you've been able to do it from my original Droid. You just push it and you can share it to Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want to share it to. It's right there, and it automatically grabs the applications that you have that are accessible to do that for you. iTunes Radio. Wow, Apple's own version of a radio app. There's so many of these. So many. I could make a whole list. I know Apple's big into music and iTunes and the whole 9 yards, and that's great. All this is a radio app. Okay. So yeah, again, over 200 new features, but I didn't see very much of any. Personally, using iOS 7, I found it pretty neat at first, and then I grew tired of it within a week, and I just didn't like the way it felt. I didn't like the way it looked. Certain things I did because it was cleaned up a little bit, but overall appearance and overall, I just didn't like it. Personal opinion, not bashing. Anybody who likes it, just not for me. September 18th is the official release for iOS 7. Next, we're going to go to the iPhone 5C. It's going to come in 5 colors. I'm not going to list the colors. I don't know them off the top of my head. Again, the wallpaper looks terrible that these come with, and the icons don't contrast well at all. They claim that it's so good on color and everything. Watch the keynote. The link will be in the description below if you want to see it. It looks terrible. Unless my eyes are really screwed up, which I'm pretty sure they're not, it looks horrendous. Cases, silicone rubber, they're going to retail at $29. That's cool. Again, it's rubber. I'm not a big rubber case fan. And $30 is kind of cheap for Apple, to be honest. But it's half a case, really. It's a case with tons of circles in it, halfway through, different colors. You can customize, make it look like that. I guess we want to be like the Moto X, apparently. I don't know. It's stupid to me. And then, we want people to buy different colors to mix and match and mix and match. And then one of their features of the case was, well, it has cutouts for where your camera should be and cutouts for where your volume and stuff. Shouldn't all cases have that? Is that really a feature? Okay. So it's a polycarbonate plastic. It's one piece of plastic. There's no lines. That's pretty nice, and I'm sure it feels nice in your hand, and I'm sure it looks nice. Apple's always had the appearance factor down. Their phones are very solid, and they do look like upscale devices. But again, it's plastic. I hate plastic. I couldn't stand it when I had my Galaxy phone S3, my Nexus, anything by Samsung, really, my Note 2. I just didn't like it. I'm not a fan of plastic. So again, it's supposed to be a cheaper model, but we'll get to prices in a minute. It's steel reinforced, and apparently there's something in the steel to help boost the antenna. That's cool. Seems innovative. We'll see how it does. It's 4 inches. Again, no size difference between this phone or the 5 or the 5S. It's got an A6 chip in it, so it's the same chip as in the iPhone 5. It's an 8 megapixel iSight camera, same as in the iPhone 5. And it's got a 1.9 megapixel new improved FaceTime camera. We'll see. Again, it's a little step up from the iPhone 5, not much. It's got more LTE bands than any other smartphone. That's Apple's claim, which you'll see. It'll obviously run iOS 7. The 16 gig model will run for $99 on a 2-year contract. 32 gig model will run for $199 on a 2-year contract. Off contract, outrageous. $549 for an off contract 16 gig model. $650 for a 32 gig off contract. Even a 32 gig $199 model, this is supposed to be Apple's way of a cheaper phone so people can afford it. $199, okay, that's fine. But the software is upgraded. The hardware doesn't seem like it's upgraded that much to make that much of a price difference. Especially when they said that they're going to be releasing the iPhone 4, which I know is a little step back, for free once this phone comes out. And again, it claims it has console-level graphics. Are you kidding me? The iPhone does not have console-level graphics. If you can tell me that an iPhone can run Crysis 3, which is on console, as smoothly without chops, and it can produce those graphics and that crisp screen, let me know. Because, no, it can't. There's no way that phone has console-level graphics. There's no way. So that's enough with the iPhone 5C. There wasn't a lot really to introduce on it. It's just a colorful phone with iOS 7. iPhone 5S, the new flagship from Apple. So it's high-grade aluminum, again on the back, just like the iPhone 5 was, with a glass panel on the front. I think it's a good idea. I like the way that the iPhone 5 looked. Again, Apple aesthetically always looks nice. They feel nice. They feel like an upscale device. It doesn't feel cheap. I really like the way they do that. It's going to come in a new color, well, 2 new colors actually. Silver, gold, which gold is new, and a space gray. So there will no longer be black. It's a space gray with a metal finish. Performance, it's going to come with the new A7 chip running at 64-bit. This is impressive, and Apple's the first one to do it. From here on out, you're probably going to see all Android phones start running at a 64-bit. It's the future. It's inevitable, but Apple did it first. I'll give them the credit. Awesome. They said it's an easy developer transition for applications to automatically take over that 64-bit. Xcode will support it as well. So congratulations, Apple. That is actually really cool that you're going to be able to do that. From the iPhone 5, based on the A6 chip, the A7 chip, the CPU and the GPU will both run 2 times faster. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a pretty decent jump. 2 times faster than the previous model. So in a year, that's a pretty significant jump. Again, I don't know what the CPU specs are, gigahertz-wise or anything like that, dual core or anything like that. I don't know. It's lined up different through Android, so we'll see. Again, console, and they said with the iPhone 5, desktop-level graphics. There's no way you're going to tell me that an iPhone can run console or desktop graphics. That little phone cannot compare to my PC or a lot of high-end PCs. I don't know if they're reserving to your average Dell or your average HP computer that you buy at Best Buy for $200, $300, $400. I don't know. But that's a pretty bold statement if you ask me. Desktop graphics? No. They showed a Infinity Blade 3. It looked great, but it didn't look like console level graphics. Now I can't tell from a screen watching the keynote. I wasn't there personally to see it. But I played Infinity Blade 1 and 2. Great games, fantastically look good, but I wouldn't put them on the same graphical detail as a console or especially a desktop. It's also going to come with the new M7 Motion Co processor. This is going to take advantage of basically they showed Nike was going to help fitness apps and things like that. So that's pretty cool. This didn't make sense to me. They talked about the battery. They hit it briefly, and they said the battery is equal or greater than the iPhone 5. So it's equal or greater. Which is it, Apple? Is it equal to the iPhone 5, or is it greater? You didn't give us an answer. You said it was equal or greater. Okay. Which I think you should hit that a little bit more. Battery life is very important to a lot of people. Overall, the iPhones have been pretty decent with batteries. But again, I've had it sometimes where they do an update and the battery's terrible, and other times where it's wonderful. It's a hit or miss with me. The camera. This was a huge upgrade for them. It's a larger aperture at the top, so it allows more light to come in. It's bigger pixels make a better picture from what they say. So instead of squeezing in 466 pixels per inch or whatever, they've expanded it and made larger pixels. So basically, automatically, it's in 5 sections now, and the camera's going to do 5 things for you as you take the picture automatically. It's going to automatically do your whites, your exposure, your dynamic tone, autofocus in 15 different zones. That's pretty impressive. Most high-end cameras do that, like high-end Nikons, high-end Canon cameras. So that's cool. And multi-photos. Literally, when you're taking a picture, Apple's claiming that it's going to take multiple pictures at once. You won't notice, and the phone will automatically put those images together, pick the best image for you out of those, and immediately give it to you, all in real time. Pretty impressive. We'll have to see how it works when it's officially released. But the pictures that they did show at the keynote were very impressive. I've always given that to Apple. Their pictures and what you can do with it are amazing. I went to Washington, D.C. a few weeks back, and I had my iPhone 5 then. I used a lot of it for panorama, and I have some gorgeous pictures that came out. It's going to have True Tone Flash. It's basically going to have two flashes, one white and one an offset yellow kind of, to basically give you different flash effects for better lighting. They showed an example of this as well. It looks great. Again, their pictures are awesome, and it's going to do it in over 1,000 variations. It's going to do auto image stabilization, so if I was to wave like this and my hand's in motion, it's going to put together all those images for me, try to make it the best way of it in motion, but still. So you're not, if you take a picture and I move a little bit by accident, it's going to stabilize that for me automatically and give you, the user, in real time, a great picture. They showed an example of it. It's kind of hard to see an example. You could have just had somebody sit there and take a picture. But they claim it does it in real time. We'll see again. It does burst photo. This is old. It's not new. A lot of cameras do it, but it's pretty cool. You see it on like a GoPro and things like that, where you touch it, and as long as you hold the button, it'll take it. They showed a skateboarder coming over a ramp. They held it down, took 20 pictures at once, kind of pulls it and chooses the best action scene. It detects what kind of environment that it is. It realized that it was an action stunt, and it gave us the best picture out of 20. You have all of them, but that's pretty cool. You can make some really cool things about that. So that's cool that Apple introduced that. I think that's a cool feature. Slow motion recording. It basically records at 120 frames per second, so you can run, as they did an example, and then it slows down and shows somebody in real slow motion, jumping, falling. Another cool feature that they added. The camera, very impressive. Got to give it to Apple on that one. Very impressive. The third major thing was the fingerprint scanner. This has been rumored forever, a fingerprint scanner. Why we need a fingerprint scanner on our phone, I have no freaking clue. To be honest, it's a waste of money, and Apple lives in security world, I guess. Everything for them is security. So yeah, that's what it's built. It's built in the home section, in the home button, the only button that's on the phone, besides your volume rockers, etc. You can use it to enter your phone rather than putting in a passcode, and you can use it to buy iTunes purchases. Those are the only two things so far that I've seen it integrated for. I'm sure there'll be other apps and things out there which it's integrated from, like a My Wallet app and things like that. It's a cool concept, but I literally find it useless. I have no idea why you would put that on a phone. But cool. If you're into security and that's your thing, all the power to you. I don't see the need for it. Waste of money. So it's going to come out also with 5 leather cases at $39 retail, so that's pretty cool. Prices. Basically, for the prices, it's going to be 16 gig model, 32 gig model, 64 gig model. 16 gig $199, 32 $299, 64 $399. Again, very expensive if you ask me. Off contract $649, $749, and $849. Ridiculous prices for off contract. And a lot of people still have that unlimited data, and that's what they're using, those off contract prices. That's expensive compared to a lot of higher end phones out there right now. As I said, the iPhone 4S, the 8 gig model, once these are released, is going to be free through most carriers with a 2-year contract. The 5C you can order as of today, September 13th, on pre-order, obviously for color reasons and things like that. I'm sure that's why they're allowing it. The S and the 5C are all going to be available in retail stores on September 20th, so just 7 days from today. And that's pretty much it. Again, I wasn't super impressed by Apple's introduction. We'll see. I'm sure I'll get my hands on an iPhone 5C and a 5S upon their release, and I will do reviews. I also have a review coming up with my HTC One, the Verizon model, which actually runs 4.2.2. Should be getting 4.3 Jelly Bean here very shortly, from what I understand, sometime this month. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or any input, put it in the comment section below. Again, this isn't to bash Apple. This isn't to praise Android. This isn't to destroy Android or raise Apple. It's just my personal opinion and views. I'm going to bring these to you guys as much as I possibly can. So stay tuned for more. Check out my website. Like it. Tell me what I can do different to make it better. And thanks for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. See you next time.